Hello, good morning. Good morning to everyone. I'm very excited to be here to see that we have a lot of people in the room. So thank you for showing up early. I know that's not easy. And I'm the first one to give you this workshop marathon of today. And today I'm going to talk about AI fundamentals for professional reinvention. Basically, we're going to talk about how AI can help us move up in the professional career ladder. Okay. So I think that, first of all, we all use probably ChatGPT or another AI tool on a daily basis. But still, sometimes we feel frustrated and sometimes we feel overwhelmed. And this is a very common trait that nowadays we live. We live in AI anxiety. So first of all, when we discovered these tools, it was like magic. It was like, voodoo. So we all felt excited. But after a while, after you start digging, after you start using it, well, probably you feel a little bit like this. It's too much for us to chew. It's the amount of abundance of tools, of the tricks, of techniques, of skills, of opportunities, of possibilities. It is overwhelming for us. It is overwhelming for anyone, but especially for non-technical people like myself that looking at this technology frenzy, we feel a little bit frustrated. However, we know that AI can bring a lot of superpowers. And today I want to highlight that my objective for today is kind of killing the AI paradox, because everybody's using AI. Sometimes we feel magic, we save hours, we sense the potential, and that's good, right? We want to know more. We are thirsty for more. However, it also feels frustrating. Sometimes it doesn't give us the answers we need. It doesn't, actually goes as far as we want it. Sometimes it also feels threatening because everybody's talking about that it will replace us, and it's really overwhelming. So, in the end, we are in this wave, but we are feeling that we are not catching it. We are feeling behind. So why is this? Of course, it's only human that we feel the speed of this change and we feel scared, overwhelmed, excited at the same time. So it's basically human needs. But also there's a lot of other factors. First of all, sometimes AI looks like this unknown science fiction technology, like magical. We don't understand it. Second, it is also complex and it's really fuzzy on how can we address majority of these things. And finally, I think we all live in social media distortion. Why? Because we see in LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok, whatever you use, we compare ourselves with others and we see, hey, these guys are killing it. These guys are the magicians, and I'm feeling overwhelmed and behind. Of course, there is also the FOMO, fear of missing out, and we see tools and we want to start. We see things and we want to really take a bite of that pie. And finally, there's also the dystopia threats. The AI will kill us, AI will replace us, etc. I think that majority of these feelings come from a lack of clarity and a lack of learning path. And today I want to dive into how can we actually develop ourselves for professionally keeping updated and developing our careers. So that's the main goal. So first of all, trying to understand and map the AI landscape, understanding what are the main things that we can do with AI and what tools should we use for that. Second, I want to explore a roadmap, a framework to stay relevant in the AI-powered economy. And of course, if we have time, also learn a little bit of practical ways. Probably we're going to have a demo and discover some AI techniques that produce better results. So this is pretty much the objectives for today. Who am I? Well, my name is Miguel. I think you already read it in the program. My name is Miguel. So that's kind of the name. But what does the name says? Well, basically, I'm an entrepreneur. Formerly, I have 3 companies. However, I've tried and done several. Some with a little bit of success, others with a little bit of failure as well is part of the journey. And since the COVID, I've been diving into technology because that was the big awakening for many of us. In this road, from a non-technical economy background to a technology, I've come to learn a lot of things. Started with no-code tools, dived into low-code tools, a little bit of code, but not that much, and then of course all the AI. And that's where we set up on a mission. And we created Fledge Institute, basically, to help the non-technical people like us to bridge the gap into the technology, okay, into this new economy. So what we do is we do reskilling. We call it digital reskilling, and we have one of the most inclusive, democratic, and accessible systems that empowers non-technical talents to really become fluent and become a transformation agent in the economy. All this without code. So that's basically what we do. So let's start today, and I want to start basically by trying to understand how AI works, trying to understand the AI landscape, okay? And I want to address, first of all, some of the myth about AI, and of course, trying to bring the reality into the conversation. First of all, first myth is AI is only for techies, it's only for engineers. It's only for those developers that are killing it, those guys in my LinkedIn that are showing things that I will never understand. That's a myth. Why? Because really, AI is one of the most democratic technologies ever. It's becoming a universal professional skill, much like we write, much like we, do math, much like we do probably Excel, PowerPoint, Word. AI is an alphabet nowadays, and no coding skills are required. So it's a myth that it's not for us. So it's for everyone that wants to learn. Second myth is AI will kill me, will replace me, will take over, right? Yes, there's this dystopia. We don't know what the future will look like. I'm quite sure that it will advance a lot. But what I've come to understand is that AI replaces tasks, replaces functions, not entire roles, and especially not the creativity, strategic, analytical, and critical thinking that human beings can bring. And AI can also not replace all of the collaboration, the co-creation, the co-design that humans together do. Okay, so I think that's for sure. And yesterday we had Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden showing us that it will never replace creativity. However, what we know is that AI will not replace you, but professionals with AI proficiency will replace those that don't. Okay, so it's critical that we learn. The myth number three, it's all these tools. There's a lot of tools, and people become crazy about the tools. They think that the secret is in the tools. Oh, is ChatGPT better than, Claude or Perplexity or whatever? Oh, what tool do you use for doing that? Of course, there is a lot to gain from tools, but the biggest piece of the value comes from mastering, probably small number of tools, but mastering them deeply. I think we will get into a verticalization of the learning. Myth number four: AI will do everything for me, so I will just rely blindly on AI. That's a myth as well. Why? Because AI only does what we tell him to do. It only follows instructions. So we have to really do a lot of things. Why? Because we have to think, we have to critically establish what we want to obtain, and then we have to be really good on giving those instructions. Much like leadership, some people think, now I'm a boss, everybody will do everything for me. No, wrong. You will get a lot of work because you'll have to, manage, think about structures, think about strategy, organize. So that's still a very important part for human beings to do. Myth number five: AI is always right. The reality is no. Funny enough, and you will figure it out when you start speaking with the AI. It always tries to please you. Okay, so it's trained to really please, to satisfy you. And sometimes it goes off track. It does, it thinks, it goes and it hallucinates, it invents stuff. And it's really important that we know how to kind of test and proof the AI output in order to not get, wrong decisions based on that. Finally, the last myth that I want to share with you is AI makes me look smarter. So it's kind of, a shortcut to, pretend that I'm smarter than I am or whatever, right? And to try to be promoted in that sense. And from my experience, if you use it wrong, if you just copy paste, if you try to be, the shortcut um, um, smart ass, it will actually do the opposite. It will make you look dumber, and it will make you, of course, also look shady. You will look like someone that it's not um, ethical. So my bottom line for all of these myths is that AI is a multiplier, but it's also a stupidity multiplier. So let's make sure that we're not one of them. So it's very important that we really understand it and we don't fall from the myth and the illusions. Now, of course, there's a lot of mistakes. I'm going to highlight a couple of them. Mistake number one is using AI only for kind of like the more superficial tasks, like for writing. People many times limit AI to their emails, to do a summary, to do a letter, to a translation. So these sort of very easy tasks that AI definitely does very well. However, the real leverage, the real superpower comes from extending that to AI helps you think, AI helps you to research, AI helps you to to do some automation or to build something. So that's mistake number one, limiting ourselves and limiting AI. Myth number two, or mistake number two, sorry, it's kind of going with lazy instructions, lazy prompts, as they say. A bad prompt, a bad instruction is something like write a marketing strategy, do me an email or, some without much detail. So I think this is a lazy prompt, and the best, prompts typically have the best outputs. So AI rewards structured thinking, and we're going to see in a couple of minutes how to do that. Mistake number three is treating AI like Google. Oh, let me search for this, and many people just use it just like to answer a question or to search for something in the internet. Well, power users do it differently. Okay, they really have a process that iterates a lot with AI. They ask questions, but they refine, they give instructions, and they fine tune it. They challenge. They say this is wrong. Prove me that it's right. And then they try to expand. Okay, they first define the structure, and then they say, okay, let's enrich it. Let's expand this. So it's not like Google. It's really much more interactive. So I think it's important that we know that AI works best if it's a conversation, if it's a ping pong game. Mistake number four, it's the tool addition. And many people, they're trying all the tools that are out there. Uh, they they experiment everything, and many times they do it superficially. And superficial diversity creates confusion. So mastering one, two, three tools deeply is where the value is where the leverage is. So I truly recommend focus here. And finally, the mistake number five is actually using AI as a parallel universe without integrating with your work. Random usage, it typically gives you small gains. Oh, I'll do this email, and then that's a small gain on productivity, a small gain in value. Once you start using it systematically, that's where the real leverage is. That's where the challenge many times is. Okay, so a lot of the A lot of these mistakes are, typical fuck ups, and we should avoid this zone. We should avoid these mistakes and really try to do differently if we want to have different results. Okay, but how can we do this? How can we improve it? Okay, so I have a couple of things that I want to share with you guys today. The first one is the core skill. And the core skill is really thinking, or the mindset and thinking, and the way we do instructions, the prompting. Okay, and very simple. AI amplifies everything. So if amplifies thinking, be aware that, you know, garbage in, garbage out. If you do a bad instruction, a bad prompt, it will have bad results in the end. So better questions. We should ask better question, give better instructions. AI will take that, and it's as cognitive amplifier, it will make the most of your question, the most of your instruction. And that's where the magic is. So we should always structure our thinking before we do our prompt. Also, the art of the prompt, the way we do give the instruction rules. And if you search for this, and a lot of prompt, I want to focus in a very simple that works for me. And I think that this as well. It's called RACE. RACE as an acronym, and RACE stands for, the R is basically role. You can ask ChatGPT or any other AI tool to act as a specific specialist, act as a marketing specialist, act as experienced developer, act as a McKinsey consultant, act as you name it. Second part of the prompt is actually your action. So it's where you give your instruction, and you have to be really clear on what do you want. Okay, what is the project that the AI will have to perform. The C stands for context. I think that you understand when you give an instruction, even to other people, if you give it a little bit context, it will make not only the person more motivated, but also, and especially, it will make them more efficient and more, probably more accurate in the answers. So the context is important. Give it a little bit of context so that AI understands what you want. And finally, the E is, try to bring some examples or bring some formats on how you do it. So define exactly, what should be the output format or the output parameters so that it really knows what it has to deliver. So this is the race, and I'm going to give you one prompt just for you, example for you to see. So first part, the R, role, act as a senior management consultant and career strategist who advises high-performing professionals on career growth and promotion strategy. Here you're saying, what role do you want them to act? Second part is the task, the action. Analyze my current role and help me identify the most effective ways to increase my impact, visibility, and readiness for promotion within the next 12 months. Okay, here we're going to, we are saying the instruction. After this, we do the context. I currently work as a product manager in a technology company with about 7 years, blah, blah, blah. My responsibilities are this, and that. Okay. My goal is to move into a head and that. So this is basically the context. I'm saying, this is what we are doing. And then, of course, we will have to do how do you want the output? Okay, and the output is, structure your answers according to the following sections. What high performance professionals in this role do differently, the 5 most important actions, the types of achievements, common mistakes that slow down, a practical 90-day action plan. So as you can see here, I'm structuring exactly the format, giving kind of how the output should be. And finally, I could even go for formatting, like use concise bullet points and practical recommendations. Cool. So as you can see, this is role in action. Clearly a role, clearly an action, clear the context, and clear the example and the format that I want the prompt to be. This is much better than just hey, analyze this or tell me what should I do in the next 12 months. Okay. Simple prompts is simple answers. More robust prompts is more robust outputs and answers. Okay. Now we can even go more advanced on the prompting. Some examples, powerful techniques that we can add. We can, before we finalize the ask, you can say, okay, before diving this, ask me 10 questions or ask me 5 questions that help you solve this. Okay, and AI, based on your initial prompt, will, okay, what more information do I need in order to answer better, in a better way. Second, also challenge the assumption. Sometimes we put some idea, but it's biased somehow. So we can actually ask ChatGPT, ask the AI, what are the weakness of this idea? What am I missing in this prompt? What should I also define in order to help you answer this? So challenge the assumptions. Ask ChatGPT not to agree with you, but to kind of be critical and challenge the thinking that you are inputting in the prompt. The third one, you can actually simulate experts, like respond as a McKinsey consultant. Respond this as a CEO would answer. Respond or evaluate these as a journalist, a news reporter that will check if this is interesting or not. So simulating expertise is also a great superpower. And finally, you can also ask it to break down, right? Rather than doing a big prompt that is a big document or a big output, you can say, let's start by step one, this. And then when we agree, we will go for step two. Okay. And this way, we will guarantee that it will not be overwhelmed, because once it starts being overwhelmed, it goes and simplifies stuff, and you get very shallow, superficial answers. Okay. So these are a couple of advanced prompting. Cool. Now that we know how to talk to the machine, I want to also explore the AI capability mapping, okay, which is basically to understand what types of kind of skills we can do with AI. And I want to use a star for this. I think AI can be used for five, of course, more, but five big things that can help our productivity, our career. The first one, of course, is a thinking partner. Helps me to think, helps me to produce some intellectual output. Second one is acting as a research engine. Rather than me spending a lot of time researching, searching in the web, looking at books, looking at several assets or resources, it can streamline that process. It can actually go out and research for you. The third one is a content creator, meaning that it can help you produce the assets, the writing, the videos, the photos, the infographics, the presentations that you need. So it's really kind of an augmented content creator that you'll have by your side. The third one is basically when it starts making automatically making several actions, which is automations, or you can even build an agent that it's independent. These one are the ones that allow you to, kind of, push the task to the machine, and the machine does it. Much like a boss delegates. Okay, so you should delegate to the AI, giving good instructions, and of course keeping the control and micromanagement in it. And finally, it also can become a builder. It can build stuff for you. And we were going to dive into a little bit each one of this. Okay. So first of all, thinking partner. Basically, what we are talking about is using AI as a thinking partner that help us clarify ideas, that help us understand complex topics. Actually, can help us even brainstorm or summarize or even learn some topics that are more complex. Difficulty level. This is kind of the early easy easier capability to have. Learning time, I don't think it's much more than a couple of hours, and I think we can get into a very decent level of thinking proficiency. The tools are the ones that we already know: ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, which is from Microsoft, Perplexity, and Gemini. Okay, all of them have small nuances where they think better and worse. You also have the Chinese like DeepSeek. You also have the ones from social networks like Grok from X or Twitter. Um, of course, Meta from Facebook and Instagram, etc. But I will say that the ones in the screen are the more used ones and the more stable. Okay, next one, I want to look at a research engine. So how can we use AI to dramatically accelerate our research? It's like having an intern with us doing all the work that we sometimes don't have the time to do. Examples of that: doing an industry report, like understanding an industry, doing a market research, understanding a market and really understand the dynamic of that market, doing some competitor analysis, um, doing some topic exploration. So this is a very important topic, not only for when you're working in a company, but also if you're applying to a job. If I'm having an interview with a company in the industry A, I can leverage AI to help me know more so that I look a little bit smarter in the interview. Difficulty level, I think it's a little bit more difficult than the thinking. Learning is also a little bit more time. And how do we do this? We do the same tools that we mentioned before, but we use the deep research mode. Okay, deep research mode is an option that you have once you go on ChatGPT. You click on the plus, and you have deep research, and you will have the access to this deep thinking. And all of these tools that I'm showing on the screen have this deep thinking, mode that help. Next one is content creation. Content creation, it helps produce professional looking, good assets that you can use for whatever topic. Here is where you have more tools that help you, with a lot of these nuances. Difficulty level is quite the same as deep research, and I think the learning time as well. But it can be used as marketing content, writing, LinkedIn posts or Facebook posts or Instagram posts, doing some presentations if you have to present something, doing some images, infographics, or even videos, producing some sort of report or some sort of document, or even ebooks. Also, you can produce your own ads, which is also very strong. The tools here, besides the ones that we mentioned, are typically more vertical. For example, for presentations, I would say Notebook LM from Google, the Gamma app, which is very strong on presentations, Skywork, and there are more like Beautiful AI, etc. Once you want to go for more images, I would say Canva is good for that and is improving every day. Midjourney is one of the specialists also in creating images. But also ChatGPT does great images, Gemini, Copilot, and Claude. For text, for more marketing content, probably Jasper and Copy AI are great on copywriting. And if for videos, you can take a look at Runway and Agen that are, state of the art in specific niches for video, although ChatGPT also has Sora and all of the others as well. Now let's go for the fourth one, which is automations and agents. Okay, here is AI performing multi-step tasks to automatically, creating, or helping you, or you can even becoming an agent that performs actions pretty independently according to your instructions. And here, besides the tools that we also mentioned, we have tools like Zapier, Make, and N8N, which are very robust. There are more, but these ones are the more used. Difficulty level is high because a simple automation, of course, we can do, but you know, a, a, a more robust one, more integrated one is harder and takes more time to learn. However, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini and Copilot, they also have agent mode. If you click on the plus, you will see their agent mode, and you can explore how how far can you go with this. And finally, the one that is kind of now more in the news, it's the builder, which is AI allowing non-technical people to build tools, to build software. It of course the difficulty level is a little bit higher. Of course it's easy to do first wow factor. It's harder to if you want to like really nail it and make it better, right? It's very easy to produce a content that everybody produces, to produce a website that everybody hey, looks everything the same. It's really hard when you want to really excel on it. But you can build landing pages, websites, you can build simple apps, you can build prototypes of your product or even really products. The tools besides the one we mentioned, I think the more powerful ones are Lovable, Bolt, Base 44, and Replit. And these ones are the ones that allow you to really build virtually, I would say, anything. Of course, exaggerating, because once you start putting more features or more complex needs, you'll have to raise the bar and have to really know more technical skills. Cool. So we have pretty much kind of like understood how AI can help us and how can we go beyond the chat, right? The conversational one. Now I want to dive in how professionals can evolve with AI. How can we really become an AI ready professional? And this is much like we said, if we look at AI capabilities as a process where you start like martial arts learning, here is the same. You have a ladder and you will grow the ladder according to your skills. So I've kind of put here 6 levels: ground zero, level zero, and then from then up, more, of course, more advanced learnings. Let's go for level zero. Level zero is the outsider. Is the one that has tried, has heard about it, has tried, but typically we have always a friend like this. I don't believe what AI is bringing to the table. I think AI is stupid, or it's dumb. Typically, the outsider, in a few months or years, it will become outdated. It will become out of the market. So it's important that we are not on that level. Level zero is dangerous. Level one is the curious explorer, okay? Is the one that is, trying an experiment, still in a phase where, probably more on the chat, on the conversational, and not on the advanced capabilities that we just showed. Level two, it's the AI user. These are the ones that already are using it in a, I would not say advanced, but I would say in a more robust way, and taking advantage of AI to really add more value in their jobs, in their day-to-day operations. Level three, the AI power user. These are the ones that are making a difference nowadays. These are the ones that in an interview, everybody's looking for. These are the ones with, 20% of the time, they can bring 80% of the results. So very important concepts to understand that we have to be there in order to be now kind of not lagging behind, but really, surfing the wave. So level three, I would say, is the threshold, that the minimum threshold that we should aim at. Of course, going step by step, but aiming at level three. If we really like this, if we really want to do further, level four is once you start, becoming the designer and the automator. These are the ones that are looking at, processes, that are looking at, how a company or organization is doing several stuff and is designing and automatizing everything with the power of AI. These are the ones that are probably more specialized, less transversal, more specialized to deliver the value that are supposed to do that you can actually bring out with the AI. But still, we still have the level 5, and the level 5 is the AI transformation professional. These are new jobs that are appearing, which are for the more advanced, the ones that are really transforming organizations from non-digital, non-AI to more digital and definitely more AI. My recommendation is that you focus on achieving several levels, platforms. The first one is basically between level 1 and 2. The goal should be familiarity and fluency. So experimenting with AI, use it for writing, summarizing research, but also try to extend this on a more robust way, as we just showed, with deep research and automation, agents, etc. So that it will be the first threshold. The second one, I would say, between an AI power user and a designer automator, the goal is really proficiency, is becoming, the super employee, the super talent, probably, the ones that dominate structure, advanced prompting, that can build AI workflows, automations, systems, and agents. These are, for me, the transversal new alphabet that everybody will have to learn. And finally, of course, if you want to become a professional, if you want to really lead transformational projects, you have to go, upper in and to level 5, which is building tools, building systems, and making sure that everybody, in the company really delivers what is supposed to. I think that this level is much more advanced. Probably is when a non-technical starts learning technical things and starts becoming almost a developer. And of course, now looking, so far away, it looks complex and hard. But once you start climbing this ladder, you will see that you will become a more, I would say, thirsty for more complex level tasks. And this is the ladder of AI professional roadmap. But anyways, like I was saying, first do it. First, you have to start doing it. Second, you have to do it right. And of course, afterwards, you will do it better. And it's a process. It's not a like I'm doing this course and I'll become whatever, because it is changing so fast that I think that the most critical element is not the tool, is not to know where to click, point and click. That's not the fundamental pivotal skill that you have to focus in. Is how to think and really to become agile and a resourceful professional, because things will change and you'll have to keep the thinking and you have to try to find a way to learn. So that's basically the key fundamental thing for the future. Having said this, thank you very much for being here, for staying with me. If you want to know more, please, drop me a message, drop me an email, or visit us at justfledge.com. More than happy to answer all your questions. I still had an extra, which were getting practical with 5 AI superpowers. I don't have that time. I think I have only 5 minutes, but I'll still give it to you. And probably what I would do, I will, if you send me a message, I will send you this PowerPoint so that you can then practice for yourself. Okay, so it's 5 AI superpowers for a professional reinvention for anyone that wants to really reinvent his professional career. First, let me list them. thinking partner, a deep research, custom GPT, AI agent, and AI app builder. Okay, so demo one is basically adding, it's I'm going to share you on a different in a different way so that you can check it like this. So Superpower is creating a thinking partner that act as a strategic career advisor. So the prompt is act as an experienced career strategist, helping professionals reinvent themselves. A professional with the following profile is exploring new career directions. This is the context. Boom, 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 boom. Your task. Okay, be pragmatic and forward. So you will be getting a lot of practical tips from your AI engine. Okay. Second one, deep research. How can we prepare for an interview in minutes with the help of AI? You you activate deep mode, okay, deep mode, and I can show you where is deep mode. So once you go here, you click here, you have deep research, okay? Once you click on deep research, it activates deep research and you can click very fast and suddenly you'll have much more detail. If you go to Claude, you also have it, you know, clicking on shit. Let me check here. Clicking here, you have the web research, extended thinking. Okay, so extended thinking takes you for much more deep perplexity. You have the same. You click in here and you have deep research. Okay, probably the paid, but if you have mail, you'll have for free. So preparing an interview for minutes, it will put the company, put the role, put the industry, and then it will prepare for you a couple of interviews, and it will make you, a couple of facts that help you navigate this. Demo three, a custom GPT, a personal branding strategist. Okay. This prompt is acting as a LinkedIn personal branding expert, specializing in professionals transitioning into technology, blah, blah, blah. And it will create LinkedIn headline, short LinkedIn about page, and 5 post ideas. What is a custom GPT? You can actually train GPT for your own case. If we go to GPT, if you go to apps, in apps, you have here GPTs. You click on GPT and you can actually see here that you have for basically everything. And if you have interview, let me check interview preparation, I'm quite sure that a GPT will appear that someone has developed. Well, it's thinking. My internet is not amazing. So as you can see, a lot of people already, intervention preparation guide, front-end interview preparation assistant, interview preparation for recruiters. So you have a lot of them, but you can also create your own. You click on create, okay, if you have the plus, of course, and you will create a GPT for you trained with your own profile and your own information. So that's demo three. Demo four, you can actually create an agent, a job searcher, and you can even suggest, that it actually performs a role every step of the way. Identify 5 emerging professional roles. Step 2, for each role, explain this. Step 3, identify the key skills. Step 4, suggest one practical first step someone could take within the next 30 days. So that's kind of to prepare your next step. And finally, the AI app builder, which you can create an interview preparation app and you just paste this into one of the tools that are recommended. So that is pretty much it. I will share this with you if you're interested. Thank you very much for everything, for being here and for actually, showing up in this AI frenzy, because the majority of people are just lagging behind and staying, at home. So thank you for taking the first step. See you later. Thank you.